Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm getting a lot of you guys who are asking me about, the best radar detector to use in different countries outside of the U.S. or outside of Canada, especially Western Europe, all over in Germany, France, in England. I'm getting a bunch of Romania lately. Saudi Arabia is a really popular one. You've got Australia and New Zealand. But the thing is, unfortunately, what I know about using radar detectors here in the U.S. doesn't really apply to being used overseas in other countries. And so in this video, I want to talk about kind of some of the limitations and some of the issues about that. And then I want to actually offer a solution to you guys, something I've been thinking about the past couple days that I think could be really, really helpful for you. Now, the reason why I'm not really able to help is because things vary tremendously all over the world. Like the radar detectors that we have here in the US, a lot of them maybe you can't even get overseas. Like I've got the Uniden R3 mounted on my car. Uniden doesn't even want to sell this abroad for their own kind of corporate reasons and whatnot, right? We've got detectors like the Escort Redline EX, which has support for a lot of the international radar guns that are in use in Canada, Russia, Western Europe, all this kind of stuff. But here in the US, we don't have those guns, so the only way I really have of testing them is, well, I drove up to Canada maybe a year or two ago to test out the MRCD, but without really being able to go out and test it, I'm kind of relying on other people on RDF online, people like you guys who live there who can take the time to create these videos and do the testing and then will share the results from me. And I actually benefit from that just like you guys benefit from what I have to share. So it really is a group effort, which is something I want to get into here in just a second. But in addition to some of the maybe radar guns that we don't have here, we have lots of different radar detectors. So the radar detectors that we have here may not be available over in Europe or wherever else. Plus, you guys a lot of times have radar detectors that we don't have. Even if it's the same detectors, it may come with different firmware versions, or like international variants of the firmware, which have different features, different levels of performance, different filtering. I mean, the price points will be different. A lot of times your laws will vary, so maybe there's something you need to consider besides, just the radar detector, like detectability. The legal things can actually be a really big thing. Here, radar detectors are legal almost everywhere, and even if they're illegal, the penalties are really minimal. But in many countries, like in Western Europe, the penalties can be pretty harsh. Same thing with some of the provinces in Canada. You've got things like, the languages are different. There's just the radar guns themselves are different. Like even if it's the same radar gun that we have here in the US, it may be different frequency, different output power level. They may be used differently. Sometimes the police officers there don't really even run radar. Something you may need would be maybe an app on your phone for, stationary fixed photo radar or something. And so maybe if a radar detector is illegal, maybe a better option is to use some sort of GPS-based notification system, whether it's an app or a dedicated device. And so just to give you some idea as far as what we have here in the States and what radar detector has better range or something against our American radar guns, doesn't necessarily translate into what's really useful or helpful for you guys. And so whenever you guys have been asking me, I'm kind of like, sorry, I can't really help, but I don't really want to leave you guys hanging and just blow you guys off, which I don't want to do that. I would love to find a way to help. So here's an idea that I had. One of the main reasons that I actually started this YouTube channel in the first place was because the information that I wanted didn't exist. Like there were other people who were, testing and posting results in the forum. I found some salesmen online who were recommending stuff and their recommendations weren't always that great, or maybe the people who were doing legitimate testing weren't testing the things that I wanted to find out or against the radar guns that I see here where I live, things like that. So I just figured I would start testing things for myself just to find out for myself. Kind of one of those things, if it doesn't exist, I might as well create it and then just turn around and share it with you guys. So something that could be really helpful is if you guys are finding there's a lack of information in your country or with certain detectors in your area, test it yourself. Try it out, and then just start posting your results online. You can create YouTube videos like I do. You can create a website. You can post it on different forums. RDF, the radar detector forum, it's really popular here in the US. There's an international section where people from all over the world can post their information. Now, it's not as popular, of course, as the American section of it, and almost everything is in English, but that could be one good resource. If you guys want to create something of your own, whether it's a YouTube channel or a website, let me know. Either post it down in the video description, or it's not the video description, in the comment area of this video, and let me know, or on RDF. I actually have a thread that I created wanting people's recommendations on good websites or YouTube channels or whatever with more information about the different radar guns or radar detectors that are in use all over the world, because that's not really something that I have a good way of finding out. So I'm actually dependent on you guys the way a lot of other people depend on me for information. So this really is a collaborative effort. So for those of you guys who want to take the initiative, or especially if you already are, awesome. Thank you so much. This all depends on people who are just stepping up and saying, let me test it for myself and share what I know with others, right? So it's you guys watching this video just like it is me creating it. It really is a collaborative group effort. So for those of you guys who are creating videos or want to go ahead and do it, definitely let me know. I would love to learn from you guys, and that would be a tremendous resource for everybody else who wants to know. And let me just tell you that if you get into your own testing, you learn so much. Like, I learn way more than I'm ever able to put into a video. You learn, I mean, all the nuances of the radar detectors and the settings and what difference they make for especially where you live. You learn on the radar gun side as far as how the radar gun operates and what the police officer is able to see. Like, to be able to see both sides of things, the radar detector and the radar gun at the same time, and how that all interacts, the whole radar detector thing just makes so much more sense. So as a tester, it's unbelievable how much you learn. And so I would highly encourage anybody watching this video, you know, if you want to learn more about radar detectors and you don't find the information online and you're looking for it, go create it yourself. Buy a radar detector. If you have one detector, awesome, test it. If you have a couple different detectors, great, test it. They don't have to be the best. Maybe they're even bad detectors, whatever. Just start testing and learn about testing methodology, about how do you present the information and share it and make it available, and what do you report, what do you leave out, how do you conduct the tests in a way where your results are representative of what you'll actually see in the real world versus maybe you make some mistakes in testing, which I kind of want to do more information about this stuff to help, you know, you guys who want to do testing. You can make a mistake in testing that could actually invalidate your results without realizing it. So it's definitely something that's amazing to put a lot of time and energy into, and you learn a ton. And one great resource is RDF. I talk about it all the time, the Radar Detector Forum. You can post your results up there. It would be awesome for me and everybody else who's also interested. Plus, well, obviously you are going to learn a ton, and if you're not seeing the information out there, you can just go out and create it for yourself, just like I'm doing. When I don't see the information that I want, I just go find out and turn around and share it with you guys. You know, it's not that big of a deal. So for those of you guys who are from other countries and are looking for information that doesn't exist, well, this sounds like a fantastic opportunity for you to, well, go find out for yourself and take the initiative to create the information and make it available for people in terms of both doing the testing and presenting the information. So if you guys need any help as far as testing, website stuff or videos or whatever, let me know. I am totally open to helping you guys out, and I would love nothing more than seeing tons and tons and tons of testers. I mean, whether you guys are living internationally in other countries outside the US or Canada, or even if you live here, like, the more testers that we have all working together and sharing information and helping each other out, the more it benefits everybody. So it's something that I can't encourage enough, and I would love to see more of. So for those of you guys who are wondering about radar detectors, and you don't, especially if you don't live here in the US, I'm not going to be a good resource for you guys, but I don't want to leave you hanging, and so instead, I'd like to actually encourage you guys to go out and do some testing, and we'll create the information and put it out there if you see that, well, it's missing in the world, and you have the desire and the ability to go and fulfill that need. So that's kind of my take on things, and just I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, definitely let me know if you guys are making videos, if you guys have a website, or you know of maybe somebody else who's doing something really cool. Let me know. Again, either, you know, post a comment here in this video, or in the video description I've got a link to kind of where I'm compiling different websites that I'm asking for from other people in Europe, Australia, wherever, you know. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. And I guess now whenever somebody asks me, like, hey, I live in blah, blah, blah country, and I'm like, sorry, man, I would love to know, but that's way beyond the scope of what I'm capable of doing. I'm just going to point you guys to this video and say, well, if you find it missing and you have the interest, go ahead and create it yourself. If you don't have the interest and you just want to, you know, take a look at somebody else's work, which is totally cool, you can also check out the link in the video description and see if anybody else is doing something in your country, and that could be something to kind of like expedite the process and speed it up for you. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So, okay, cool. I don't really know how to conclude it after that, so I'll just end it here. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say and what you have to share.